The ant prepares for period that it will not be able to do the normal things. So that is something that I want us also to look at, that we should be able to prepare for the unknown. We should be able to prepare for things that we do not have control over. The other one that I want us to look at as a lesson from the ant is persistency. I believe most of us would have seen how ants build their mold. And when we see them in a week's time, they would have built it again. That is persistency. They never give up until they are dead. So the American say, yeah, Solomon, afutu sem ode ma ye na e kire se ehun hia yie pa se ye besiesie ye ho ama ochina because ye nim de echina ebesi na afi so ye hwe entete a ye nim yie se omokoso a se enema omo ye bia no omokoso eye. Now there are several verses in the Bible that will advise us to prepare for all the things that we do, for all the things that we can see. Obviously, we don't have too much time to go through all of them. But again, if you want to refer to something that talks about storing up choice food, we have Proverbs 21 verse 5, talks about plans of the diligent lead to profit. In Genesis 41, 34 to 36, we read about how the Egyptians prepared for the famine. So these are some of the things that encourage us as Christians to also prepare for the unknown. The year Kenyina say, "Tresem no echreyen enyema bebre efa ahosiesie ho na yase yimebusem eti duba ko iremu aduenu no echreyen enyema ni bi ye hwe Mose ngoma edikai eti aduanan ba ko nchemu aduanan chemu aduasan nan ebra omo hu se ekom eba no." Now, let's go to our main topic for today. First is, what is financial stability? Sayimpo yeka se yema yesika sem ejina na se ne pese yekre. What do we mean? Today, when we talk about financial stability, I'm not talking about how much money you have. I'm not talking about the size of your bank account or the size of your paycheck. Because everybody in every situation can prepare for financial stability. You don't need to be poor to feel money problems. And if you are considered rich, it doesn't mean all your problems are taken away. And then you can say, "Oh, you hear me," and I say, "No, you sikani." Echna the basin between a bibi for. So when I talk about financial stability, what I'm looking at is being able to meet the basic needs of the household consistently. Being able to meet the basic needs of the household consistently. And being in a comfortable state where you are not constantly worried over whether or not you'll be able to meet these needs in the immediate future. So the American say, "Because say usika bejina, enye usika dodo a wo, ana say bosome akatua woje, ana iska unya no wajumam." The American kire say ubetimi aye nhyehyeye na usika sem akọ ye said ye beya enema a woye no ubetimi atoa so aye. Now, when it comes to financial stability, we all don't need the same amount to be able to maintain it. And in Yesebia, or see Yenyesikape say Ubia kuta 10,000 before we say you have financial stability. What somebody needs to be able to maintain stability in his household is different from what the other person also needs. The obi here say ebema ni sikasem ejina woni fie no enye se sika na ene yeso ye hia ebi ana de ye hia no kra edoso ana se de ye hia no esua essensa esan say we all have different needs. So if you go to say a family, there may be 3 children in the family. Some families have 7, some have 5, some have 1. There are some families where they live in their own accommodation. So their main concern is how to pay probably their property rate and how to maintain their house. Somebody lives in a mortgage home. So for that person, his concern is how he's able to pay the mortgage payment over the period. Another person is living in a rented accommodation. So for such person, the minimum he's looking at is how he'll be able to pay his rent. Same amount. We have different needs when it comes to building a financial stability at home. The American say, "Sabi ye nyina ye nhia sikakro say sika we enemy here to maintain a stable home." Esan say eniema ekoso ye fie no obia de eyesronko. Even ye ba say aduane kra ye di ne fie a obi pe fufuo ene aponche krakra, obi pe yokogare, obi pe apimampesie, obi pe bare whatever. So all that we are saying is say aduane na wudi no a wo pe no ede enhyehyeye na wo beye a wobetimi akoso edi sa aduane no na enkoye se ene wadi echina na emframa bi abo na afi aduane a wo pe no went. So the idea is how are we able to maintain the lifestyle? How are we able to maintain what we do in our families over the period? So at least we should be able to maintain it. And then if you are blessed, we also seek to progress. But then we don't want to go back. And the person here say, "Dear your team say, young kwayachi, ye kwaya nimwa yepe, but young kwayachi." And the Subai and I near my bed saying ye betimi aye, ye betimi a maintaining stability no. And yama be brewa, ye betimi aye, make a kakra minim say, ye mubi oha, yes, you yama be brewa, ye betimi aye, nafi, yamu yesika seven ejina. The first one that I want to talk about as a habit, and now habit, we all know habit, is something that we do always. So something that basically is part of you. It's part of you. It's not like you do it today and then you stop tomorrow. So some of the habits that we need to adopt to be able to maintain that stable finances in our family is read about personal finances. The more you educate yourself about personal finances, the better your finances will be. You must be a bit no. You won't try to be say finance for non-finance people. Wokaya a bit me among dear. Yeah, yentimi and kaino. Ye adofo ending komo. Na yem bisa omo. Ye bisa omo ni na e twe adwene so. E ma yetimi e de e fatase ye. The next habit that we have to develop is to make savings and investment our top priority. Make savings our top priority. Say, yenya yakatua, ya ba adwuma no, yenya akatua no, adwuma ni sika bia beba yensemu bia no. The first expenditure as Christians, when you take out your tithe, the first thing that you should do is keep some aside. Don't try to spend and then save the rest. Nothing will be left. And you say, "Scan yeji na yedia de beka no, na no na yedi kosie because scano say the scan die makra amount na wudia ebesa." Now the other one is impulse, what we call impulse buying. Let's control impulse buying. We shouldn't buy or spend money on things that we don't need. Say we no do baby ya na ekoma emano titru. Because you say oba betimi ato adie 10 cedis. On here, if we say enra oko dwom no say na sa adie no 50 cedis. Enti os anya Uko enyema e worship wona ebi efe wani boso a wanhwe yi a wobeto nanso bia na enyema no kra no eho ehia. The yesa ka biem ne say let's evaluate our expenses. Let's evaluate our expenses. Do we know what we spend our money on? Sabre ya yeti hei ye bisa wo say bosome so na woje wakatua ana say wo ye adwuma na etua wo ka wonim dia wo diska no eya ye mu bebre wo ha and go back to those expenditures and see if whatever you spent on were necessary. If they are not necessary, then you cut them out of the list and then you move on. The other one that we want to look at is invest in our future. Let's invest in our future. Especially yen and crack a crown woman, my fees, oh, madam, one more time. I think my start here, Juma, and in fear be a so media, my mention cra. But it doesn't work that way. The earlier you start, the better it will be for you. The other one that I want us to also look at is keep your family secured. Keep your family secured. Yemu bi oha mpanifo na ewom no ebia ya wire nom ya wo manom sabre ya ebia eniema koyie no o se ye nhyehyeye said ye beya ya bushia no ya babo omo ho ban because emre eni ho ema ya emre bia edu ba bia wadwuma kra betimi asai wo betimi ayare wo bekọ pension. All these things may happen, so let's make sure we secure the future of our families. Some of the ways that we can do, for example, if you have young kids, you can have life insurance. So in the event that you are not there, the insurance will support taking care of the children. Let's put monies away. Let's make a good investment so that they will be secured. The other one, let's eliminate debt. Bosia, yemo modern say, edu babia na de obetimi aya say obebo bosia. Nanso yemo modern say ye bobosia no kra na yenye hyehyeye say ye beyi bosia no afri yabrabom. The tosu biem, pay your bills immediately. Say the ECG bill ebrewa eho na mepacho scan wo ho anu ayi na wo de atua eno no wo ye utua ne sa na wo bohu say enema ehu hia no e na wo be ye no first enye sa wo behu na wo di scan no akoye bibia emfata. Then by the time you are asked to pay the bill, there will be no money. Then your light may be disconnected or a particular service may be denied. And then we talk about safety. It is important to have a plan for life changes or crisis. So, enyema bebre betimi asesa wa yabrabom yemo modern say yebesiesie ye ho e wo sa nyema no na the American twato efa subaya e wo se yetimi e de transe no e say we should grow our net worth. Enyema ye won yemo modern say yebetimi amana kwa animu. Sabi, I say, person will maintain the honor. That is the minimum. But we should try to make sure, as we maintain it, we also put in plan in place so that we'll be able to increase what we have. Now, the other one that I want us to look at briefly, looking at our time, is why do we need stable financial for our, why do we need stable finances for our family? So I say yes, sika 7 be gina kra no emfaso a ewo ho ene say de yemu bi ebi a ye hu ye ne say yes mental health eye adwremutie ana adwremu ahomeka no research ana say hwehwemu a kire say there's a link between mental health and poor financial health. Sabi say sikasem no enko yi a etimi kra eka yadwene enti yemomodin say yebetimi asiesie ho na ehwehwemu bi so kra kire say there is a relationship between suicide and financial health. Say enuanum bia sabi wo mo ehye wo ho akomfo no yesi bi wo ho a ya na eye sikasem. We also know stress and overall health. Adwendwene ene atete se yanhihye yesika sem amana nko yi a ebedu ba bi no yebetimi atete na sa atete no so no ebe haye ewo yapomudini mu. So let's make sure we do what is right. Let's make sure we put in a lot of effort so that we'll be able to reduce our stress. Then we also have less money for self-care. If there's no money in the house, we have problem with, say, uti or ya. In the Zobeko hospital, na doctor I heard at the cry, a wo utimono. Ebi abuhuano na wakotete ahabai, now they are so him. Because you have not planned for that aspect. So when small health issues go unchecked, they can turn into larger problems. Into the ahabai eso uhnim ebedu baby no na akoye kese na afei sika no kra wo hia no so asa akoye kese enti momoye mompa enyire ye ho se ye beye enhyehyeye papa na afei asisa nyema we nkwai. Let's sleep. Usually we all know say edu baby na se sikasem no ebeye dia ye dakra ye ntimina na afei so daye ne nyema bebre. So again, let's make sure we do the right thing. Yeah, ekoso nyina enti yemo modern say ye beto to yesika sem no yie ye ne ye irenom ene ye nkra ne nyina beka bom ni aye nhyehyeye obi anim sikasem a ewo abusuanim eno etimi de yie eba. Again, there are a lot of research about what happens in the family when there are issues with financial stability. And yenim se yenhyehyeye no koyia ya na aware no ntokwa bebre eto etwa ankoyie so a ya na ntokwa yenim enhyehyeye a eno so eba na enhyehyeye bia adisua another survey the survey amountful bi aye ekire se Uche any survey na omoye no. It shows that 1/3 of the couples reported finances to be the most stressful facet of their relationship. Say enhyehyemu no omo anipa ye no omo kasa ye no kire emu say niema na enkoye ewa aware mu no na emu aduotwe enanse na nyina dodo na afi sikasem. Enti moma yantoto yesi kasem ye said ye beya yenko sa ohanum. Who confirmed that when they were young, they overheard their parents fighting about money issues. Enti mestre say sabre aye wahe ye ya Christopher se bimpo asia ye manu twam na afi yenye yenhyehyeye yie said beya enkoka yemano na yɛma no nkonya adwene foforɔ. And then the same research also confirmed that look for ways to maintain financial stability themselves. Se nkra no ewa abusuanim na se sikasɛm no ntotoyɛ no ɛkɔ a almost the esaka ho ne say even ya sorry bam. Now just to finish up, we have a one-page slide. Please can you put a slide on for us? Na ya kwada na ya ase ye nyini bakakra na afa ya nyini ne ya adwuma na afa ya gye ya home. Na sa first two stages ye ni control ya wofo e na wo control so. Enti ya wofo betimi aboa ye sa bre na ye ni control no no ma siesie amaye. Na ya wofo bi wo ha ebi kra na ye yem kra na ye to ye din no obi ma wo musika se nka wo mfa bi account ma ye o ma bi account no ye se na ye po mo chewo se enye late wo mo gonko bi account no ma ye. Now when you get to the next stage, which is the young adult, this is the stage where probably either you are working or you are about to start work. So you need to start thinking about what you can do in terms of preparing for your future. So you need to make some investment. First, you need to build what we call emergency fund. So how do I build that emergency fund? There are some investments, because of time, we couldn't go through all the what are available. But make conscious effort that you build what your emergency fund. The emergency fund is what you are going to use when the need or the unforeseen happens, and then you need to draw on that emergency fund. So that one, if for example, as a child, your parent has started some savings for you, by the time you get to that stage, you may be fortunate to have an emergency fund to build on. And the American say, we 3 years, nesebia wa ofo no esiesie wachia. By the time we bedru sa tibia ino, na bia oma yen hyehyeye e wo homa na wo so watwa so. The next stage is when we start working fully. So yes, some young adults will be working, but then when you look at the working adulthood, we are looking at a situation where you have the strength, should be able to find some work to do. It doesn't have to be salaried work. It could be any form of work that helps you to generate income. So at this stage, we expect that you start preparing for life after work, because you're not going to work forever. So even when you are working, you are taking care of your family, you are supporting other good causes, you also need to prepare for the days that you may not be working. And sometimes when you talk about when you may not be working, some people put it to retirement. It doesn't always have to be retirement, because you can lose your job before you get to the retirement stage. So that stage that you may not be working could happen any day. It could be tomorrow, it could be the next day, it could be the next week. So don't let us only focus about the retirement period, because you may not get to the retirement period before you lose your income. So